So you're thinking of moving to New Smyrna Beach, Florida, but you better know about these negatives that might scare you away. If you want to find out more, make sure you stay tuned. What's up everybody, it's Jimdin and Brian with the For Sale team right here in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. If you're new to the channel and you want to know everything about working, sleeping, playing, eating, buying, and or selling anywhere here in the New Smyrna Beach area, make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell so you're notified every time we release a new video. We have people reaching out literally every single day, whether it's buying, selling, moving, or relocating. If you're thinking of making the move, make sure you reach out. Shoot me a call, text, email, message in a bottle, or schedule a Zoom in the link down below. However you need to reach us, we've got your back when you're moving to New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Let's get into it. So one of the biggest questions that people always ask us when they're considering the New Smyrna Beach area is, what do you do about the sharks? Now, sharks are insane here. There's a ton of them, and I'm not even going to downplay it because they're there.
The coastline extending roughly 15 miles around the town is a shark attack hotspot.
All you have to do is take a drone, you fly it out over the water, and you will see them literally by the hundreds.
New Smyrna Beach has been nicknamed the shark attack capital of the world.
But the thing is, it's a little bit skewed. Not everything is what it seems on the internet. Now, the videos that you see on the internet of New Smyrna Beach, Florida, with all the massive amounts of black-tip sharks, that's during their actual annual migration period. So they'll actually be coming through the New Smyrna Beach area
from September to November. Then again in March and April.
Because a lot of people are always concerned when they imagine a beach full of sharks, they imagine Jaws. It's not the case. You're not gonna be you're not gonna be seeing sharks that are more than yay big.
Yeah, most of them are tiny, small.
Yeah, they're pretty tiny on the actual beach, and you'll see them. They're in about a foot of water sometimes, and they're scared of people, as evidenced by the videos.
And on New Smyrna Beach, the more north you go on the beach towards the inlet, the better the chances of seeing a shark or get bit by a shark, because it's the murky water there, and a lot of times they don't even know that they're not particularly going after swimmers or surfers. They just happen to bump into younger sharks, bump into surfers or swimmers, and when they bump into, they bite. So they're not attacking people on purpose. Usually it's because they just don't know any better.
I think it's essentially the same as like a dog or any other animal. They don't have hands, so their first instinct is to bite whatever is there, because that's essentially their first point of contact with whatever it is. That's how they explore. That's how they vent out their curiosity and figure out what exactly something is, whether it's edible or not, and sometimes it might be you.
And there's also things you can do. Don't wear jewelry while you're in the water, like shiny jewelry or shiny clothes. That's attracted to them. That might think it's a fish. Even actually the bottoms of your feet look like, that's why sometimes surfers get attacked, because the bottoms of their feet are white and they look like fish swimming around. That's my kicking move.
But with the jetty as well, it's going to increase your chances of seeing sharks and such, because it's the fish and everything. They're being fed into that jetty. The water's moving in and out of that area. But the waves they're beautiful. They're beautiful right there by the jetty. If you want to catch the big waves as well, you got to pick your poison. There's going to be some more sharks there, but oh man, the waves are so worth it.
Definitely.
So if you're not a fan of sharks, and they absolutely petrify you and scare you, maybe the shark attack capital of the world isn't the best spot for you. If sharks scare you too much, make sure you check out our other videos on Port Orange and Daytona. They have some more, still have sharks, but not as much. They don't have the name.
The shark attack capital of the world.
Same water though, so.
Not as many sharks. Alright, so next up on the list is the weather. And one thing you need to know about Florida is it rains a lot. It doesn't rain for a long time. It just rains a lot for a very short time, and it pretty much consistently in the summer it rains almost every day for at least 5 minutes. But
At least.
yeah, but you learn to live with it. You just go out and you do whatever you want to do. You just got to know that at some point you are going to probably get rained on for a few minutes, and it doesn't last. It actually feels good because it's hot and it cools everything down a little bit. The only downside to that too is with the rain is the clouds, and the clouds is the lightning. The lightning here is nuts.
Oh yeah.
But a beautiful sight from the beach. Looking out to the clouds and watching the lightning from the beach is phenomenal.
And you'll see a group of people. They're lightning watching is a legitimate thing here. People will flock to the beach if the storms are rolling out over the ocean, and you can see amazing displays of just lightning shows.
It's beautiful.
You got the spider lightning that's striking on over the ocean, and it just literally fans out, explodes. You see it cackling like up in the clouds and everything, and you can just see the weather literally coming alive. The weather here it's a whole different beast if you're not used to it.
Yeah.
And it's very wet. It's very windy sometimes. Lightning is the biggest thing, but that ties in weather. The biggest concern on a lot of people's minds, it isn't necessarily just the weather, it's the big swirling kind of weather. It's
The hurricanes.
and it absolutely terrified coming and going into Florida. When I originally came here from the Philippines, my family split up. Half went to Florida because it was a similar climate and such, and then the other half went to Arizona. We're in Arizona, it was nice. Nothing happens in Arizona, for better or for worse. Nothing happens. And you don't get fires. Sometimes you get fires, but you don't
Haboobs. What about the haboobs?
Haboobs are nothing. If you've never seen a haboob, it's literally a massive cloud of just dust.
That's just storm dust.
Engulfs everything.
It picks cows up and throws them.
No, it doesn't.
It does. It does in Queen Creek, I swear. I heard.
You don't get tornadoes. You don't get hurricanes. You don't get anything of the sort. Not even earthquakes. And it's amazing, right? It's a very safe area. I always thought my family was nuts moving to Florida because all you hear about is the hurricanes, and that is actually one of the number one reasons we stayed away from Florida, just because you just have this preconceived notion of just you're gonna get blown away because of the hurricanes, and it's honestly not that bad at this point. After living here in Florida for 6 months, right? At this point, I love hurricanes. As nutty as that sounds. And I'm obviously not talking about the big, scary Category 4, Category 5. The majority of the hurricanes that are Category 1 or 2, they are amazing because the waves that they generate are awesome. You get these amazing 5-6 footers, sometimes even 7 and 8 foot waves here in New Smyrna when the hurricanes are out in the Atlantic. And it's amazing. You just see the locals, you see everyone just flock to the beach, and it is just a bunch of kids just playing in the playground. That is the ocean.
All the Brodies in their vans.
Yeah!
The waves yesterday were good. Or the last couple days have been phenomenal.
They were amazing.
Also, the weather, it's just hot and moist and muggy during the summer. If you don't like your clothes sticking all day long, then this is not the place for you. It's definitely moist. It's no Arizona.
It's not Arizona. Arizona's got dry heat. This is about as wet as you can get. So, if you're not a fan of moist, wet, inclement weather, and beautiful shows of lightning and the occasional hurricane, then maybe New Smyrna isn't for you.
Oh, and if you have dogs, definitely the thunderstorms are usually an issue with the dogs. So if you have a lot of dogs, it becomes an issue because they are scared.
A lot of you that have called me can probably vouch for the fact that you can hear my dog. If it's raining, I'll give you a heads up. You can probably hear my dog just barking up a storm. They absolutely hate the lightning, thunder. If any of you have any tips actually on
how to stop that.
how to make him a little more at ease.
And the
with
thunder
lightning.
here is nuts. It's like building shaking thunder. I think it's a different beast. The storms here are a different beast. So if you don't like those types of things, then definitely New Smyrna is not your place to be.
But if that hasn't scared you away yet, make sure you stay tuned for these next 3 topics, because they might. How the Daytona Beach area is spread out, right? You've got I-95, which runs perpendicular to the coast. Now, alongside the coast, you have the cities that are all there along the beach. Up there at the top, you've got Ormond Beach, then you've got Holly Hill, Daytona, South Daytona, then Port Orange, then New Smyrna, and then Edgewater, right? Now, with New Smyrna, when you're getting off of 95, you get onto this road called State Road 44. Now, State Road 44 is going to be the lifeblood of New Smyrna. That is the direct way to the heart of the city, and it's direct way right to the beach. So it's amazing, it's great. The thing is, when you have a sleepy little beach town that ends up blowing up in population, ends up
A lot of tourists.
a lot of tourists, it's a damn good beach. And everyone knows it and everyone loves it. So during those peak visiting times, holidays, summer vacation, times like that, you can bet that it's going to be pretty packed. State Road 44 during rush hour times is going to be bumper to bumper traffic. And obviously it's nowhere in comparison to areas such as LA or New York, but it's still a pretty sizable amount of traffic nonetheless.
Yeah.
If you know the areas, there's different back roads and such that diverge off of State Road 44 that you can go and cut through the boonies and such. Don't get lost.
And 44, since there is so much traffic, and I'm not sure what it is, but that road, I think it's so long and straight that people just get lackadaisical, and there's accidents daily there all the time. Like, just, you're constantly seeing accidents down there. And yeah, I don't know if people just on their phones texting or what, but or it's just Floridian drivers.
Honestly, I think it is a combination of the two. With yeah, it is a long road. Once you get off of State Road 44 goes for a while. If you go past I-95, or like they're perpendicular. But I think it's a combination of the fact that a lot of people here, they've never seen blinking yellows.
Oh, the blinking yellow left turns.
The blinking yellow arrows.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I've literally seen it just happen in front of you. I don't think they quite understand what it means, and you see them, they'll just turn out like
right into the traffic.
They have the right of way, and you're just like, dude,
they don't think about it.
What were you doing?
And if you're not from Florida, you've never been to Florida, the traffic lights here are forever. They take forever.
They're on the old timer system. They're not.
It's 5 minutes for this side, then 5 minutes for that side, and then 5 minutes. So you literally sit there for a long time.
Oh yeah, and if there's an accident, as there is pretty much daily on 44, more traffic. More traffic.
Exactly. Also, when you get into another thing about it in traffic is when you get close to the beach, since it is a driving beach, a lot of the parking New Smyrna doesn't have a lot of parking in the town just off on the thing, because most of the people drive on the beach and park on the beach, so you've got lots of people on the beach. But during high tide, they shut those gates down, and then people just start parking everywhere. And the traffic gets backed up waiting for the ramps to open up so you can drive out onto the beach. So sometimes you've got to really, like, traffic-wise, you got to time it. You have to look on, like, a Surfline or something, or the Volusia Beach app, and to see when high tide is, because you could. That's one thing I learned. You could just go down there, all of a sudden you're waiting, all of a sudden they just shut the gates, and they do it sometimes 2 hours before high tide, 2 hours after. But once you're on the beach, you're on the beach.
Stay clean.
Yeah, you just go there. We literally will sometimes just drop the car off, knowing that it was going to be busy or the high tide. We'll go drop a car off in the morning, and then if we want to be there later, then we can just drive back down, and that way we have our spot on the beach and all our gear and stuff like that. So that's one thing to think about as far as traffic.
But where the real issue comes up whenever we do that is finding parking for the other car that we use to get to the beach.
That's true. That's true.
It's a whole operation. I'll drop everyone off, and then I'll drive down maybe like a mile or two down. Thankfully, segways are a thing, and New Smyrna's beach is made for cars can drive on the beach. So sometimes if it's a nice sunny day or if the waves are amazing, you might just see me just segwaying down the beach to my car. So if you're not a fan of traffic, and traffic is not exactly your thing in any way, shape, or form, I can recommend a ton of countryside areas here in Florida. New Smyrna might not be the place for you.
Or you can just either take the bus line that they have, or Uber's not really good here. It's not. And Lyft, it's hard to get an Uber or Lyft here.
Traffic, baby.
Traffic, baby. Or you can bike down to the beach. There's bike lanes and things like that. A lot of people bike to the beach. Or just live by the beach, and then you don't have to worry about it.
That's a thought.
Yeah, and we know some good real estate agents if you want to do that.
So if I haven't scared you away yet, and you're still thinking of making the move, make sure you reach out, shoot me a call, text, email, message in a bottle, or schedule a Zoom in the link down below. If you want to binge watch our other videos, make sure you check them out as well. If New Smyrna isn't quite the right area for you, let me know.
Because if you don't tell us, we don't know, and we can't help you.
However you need to reach us, we've got your back when you're moving to New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you want to check out our other videos, check them out here and go!